All right, how's it going, everyone? We wanted to film this quick video today to show you what lead flow looks like in Sisu from a brand new prospect in your CRM all the way through to closed deal on your books. So every organization tracks data, whether they have a dedicated strategy for doing this or not. They're going to have it somewhere. It's probably on an Excel sheet or in an email file or wherever it is. And ultimately, this data is what determines your success as an organization. The numbers don't lie. So if you have a grip on them, you'll be able to constantly adjust and make changes that improve your operation. Otherwise, sometimes these processes are like leaky buckets. So the data is captured in disparate systems, Excel files, and emails, and different systems, and it leaks through the cracks, and there's never really one central place where it can all be used for reporting. So we've worked with all kinds of world-class organizations, agents, coaches, people who absolutely kill it in their markets. And we've created a platform for tracking all of your data in one place with as little effort as possible. If you can nail these processes and understand exactly how data tracking works in Sisu, you'll have invaluable data points that you can leverage and create a clear, measurable ROI on your efforts. So a couple examples of that. You'll notice the dashboard I have here. You can know and coach and improve your performance. For example, how many listing appointments did you go on and how many of those listings did you actually sign? Now, if I go to this with my coach and he helps me and now I'm able to improve and close more of my listing appointments, I'll absolutely see a return on that. I'll be able to milk out an extra 1 to 2, maybe even more transactions each year. Allocating your lead spend, your advertising funds on sources that actually work and being able to say, hey, look, these Instagram leads are killing it for us, but we're losing money on these realtor.com leads. And you can optimize from there and keep doing more of what's working. You can prove your value to your vendor partners. So if you're creating co-marketing relationships with different vendors and mortgage companies, if you have this data, that's a way for you to actually prove the value of that partnership and then be able to justify an even higher lead spend, even more co-marketing efforts, and create more opportunities for your firm. So just to start off, a lead hits your CRM and talking about how is it going to flow through Sisu and how are you going to track all the things that happen with those certain leads. So your CRM has thousands of leads in it. That's great for prospecting. It's not so great for reporting. And that's where Sisu comes in to add a tighter level of accountability only on your hottest, most qualified leads. So we typically recommend with our clients that they send their leads over into Sisu once they achieve a hot status or a qualified status. These are people who are really looking to buy or purchase a home, and there's an opportunity there for your firm to close them and create that business. So this is typically happening through an integration, either with RealSync, API Nation, Zapier. We have a lot of integration partners. We have an open API. And we've been able to establish integrations like this with Boomtown, with Follow Up Boss, Sierra Interactive, Contactually, and Commissions Inc. So if your CRM provider has no way of getting leads out of your system, no way that you can send it from one system to another, they're absolutely behind the times. This is something that you should bring up with them and possibly even look for a new CRM vendor, because the ability of systems to talk in today's environments it can't be stressed enough, and it's very important. So with that, let's take a look at what a lead would look like when it lands in Sisu, from your CRM or from wherever it's coming from. So I come in here, I have an example of this. This is a seller who came over from my CRM, Bob Marley. I've pulled a bunch of the contact information, phone number, address, the lead source. That's another big one that's come over. So I see that lead source is SOI, and I'm not having to track any of this twice. And an agent can come in and track this in Sisu. Say that, typically what we're recommending is when these leads are hot, when you know they're hot, when you set an appointment with them, that's where you're going to mark them as hot. They're going to flow over into Sisu. And then when your agents are going to say, hey, I went on an appointment with Bob Marley, they're able to pull up their phone, go to track a first-time appointment. They'll pull up their pipeline. So all of the hot leads that have flowed over from their CRM, and you'll notice we got Bob Marley in there, and tracking certain things like forecasting the commission. So typically the only thing that they're adding in here is, I just got out of a listing appointment with Bob Marley. I have an idea of what he's looking to sell for. He's looking to sell for, 375. He's offering a full commission. My split on it's going to be 50%. And then all I got to say is I went on this appointment on May 14th, and I'm tracking that. And, you know, same thing, all of the dates are what drive these leads through the Sisu pipeline. So if I come in here and I add a signed date or I add an under contract date or a settlement date, that's what's going to drive it through and give me credit for working with this lead or for signing a lead or for closing a deal. So if I come back into my pipeline, you'll notice I just barely put that appointment with Bob Marley. And you'll notice that my first time appointments will increase there. I just went from 6 to 7, and I'm now on track to hit my goal for the month. And if I can keep on this pace, I'll have completed my goal by the end of the month. So there's an even better process for managing the data, the flow of data through the system. And it can say, if you can nail this, it's going to save you hours of the time and ensure that you have accurate data. So that's through our forms. Many of our clients will set up different forms for their agents to use in their reporting efforts. Whenever they'll do this typically whenever a critical event happens. So if I come into Bob Marley and say that one of my agents is coming to say, I just I signed a listing agreement with Bob Marley. We're going to list his home. So I come into edit, and you'll notice on the left side here, I have a bunch of different forms that I can work with this data with. So if I go to my signed listing form over here, the team can set this up however they want based on the different data points that they want to be tracking when a listing gets handed off from the agent. So the agent signs a listing, and now they're handing it off to a transaction coordinator or your admin staff. And this is something that they have to do anyways. They're going to have to communicate this stuff to your transaction coordinator anyways. So you might as well systematize it and put it in a place where that data is actually getting captured. If I type out an email with all these different data points, or I do a Google form, and then I'm sending it off to my transaction coordinator, none of that's being captured. It's a leaky bucket. It's not being used in my reporting. So that's why this team has created this listing form where it has certain data points. And a lot of this is auto-populated. A lot of this is already pulled from your CRM. Whatever's in there, we're pulling it over into our system, and you're just coming through and filling in the blanks. Hey, city, state, that's already pulled over. When was the listing agreement signed? It was signed on the 13th. When does it end? It ends at the end of summer. What's the commission rate? What's the listing agent commission? What's the buyer agent's commission? First name, last name, phone number, email, that's already pulled over from your CRM. You don't have to track that. If you want to add in a second contact, what's the lead source? Once again, pulled over from your CRM. When did it become a lead? Pulled over from your CRM. When does it go live on the MLS? Okay, I want it to go live on the 17th. What are the remarks? Beautiful 3-bedroom, 3-car garage, or whatever those remarks are going to be. When's the open house date? We're going to do an open house this Saturday. When does the sign need to go in? As soon as possible. Try and get it in tomorrow. Does it need aerial photos? Yes. What's the occupancy status? It's vacant right now. So all these different data points that I'm going to have to communicate to the team anyways, I'm systematizing it, and I'm pulling it all in through this form. And then I can update it, and I can even take this form data and I can send it off to whoever I need to. I can send it to my listing coordinator or to my transaction manager. I can send it to even a mortgage company. So you might have your vendors in here where you need to share some of this data, and you could take this and say, here's a lead for you, something like that. So all kinds of ways that once the data's in the system, not only is it used in your reporting, but it can be sent off to different parties and used to manage the actual transaction. So we typically recommend for our clients to create these forms at key points of the process, of the transactional process. So when you go on the first time appointment, when you sign an agency agreement, or when you sign a listing agreement on the seller side, and whenever either of the sides goes under contract to close. So when a buyer has their offer accepted, or when a listing accepts an offer on the property, and now it's going through closing. So on the back end, our clients will typically have a virtual assistant, an admin staff, their transaction coordinators who are managing the closed deals and ensuring that all the data is accurate. So this is as simple as pulling up a deal when it's closed. They'll come into the transaction form over here. They'll walk through it. They know these are all the important points. They want to track who the mortgage company is or who the partners were, and they can track all of that. And just making sure those data points are correct. There's also a lock feature. So if you notice when you come into the transactions, or actually into admin transactions, I'll show you this. The administrators or the transaction coordinators or anyone who's marked as an admin in the platform can come in and just lock this. So typically those admin staff are locking the deal once it goes under contract to close, and that allows them to ensure that everything is tracked accurately. The agent will still be able to come into their, on the phone, if you're looking at the phone now, they'll still be able to come into their clients and see and say, you know, here are all the deals that I have under contract, and in the bottom right, they're seeing how much money they'll make when these all close, so they know what their pipeline is. They just can't go in and change those dates, and that gives the admin staff a little more control and ability to manage these transactions and ensure that you have accurate data. So, and we're also continually working on integrations with like your docs managers or your transaction management software, so that it'll just pull right from that system and update it in here, and you won't even really have to manage it. So it'll save you hours, and even as it is, this is saving you hours of tedious duplicate entry and actually making it so, you know, if you're working your butt off to track all this stuff and use it from an admin side, you can use it on an agent side as well, and the agents get value out of it for tracking all their data. So you can come in and you can run contests and incentives and challenges. A lot of teams tell us, you know, a lot of teams want to run a challenge where they have, you know, contacts are worth 10 points and dials are worth a point and an appointment is worth 100 points. Well, that's a pain in the butt to track. And how are you actually going to send that out or keep the team updated on the score? You're going to send out a weekly email. That's a lot of hours from your admin team trying to run a contest like this when you already have it tracked somewhere. So you can create challenges, leaderboards. You can use this in your coaching. So you'll absolutely see a return if you can systematize this. You know, most of the time it's more about looking at your organization's approach to data. You can optimize the processes, ensure that everything's captured in one system where you can actually use that data. You have tons of different data points for creating an ROI and using those data points to create leverage in all different kinds of places in your business. So if you have questions about this, about the platform in general, setting up integrations, or just taking it to the next level, if you're already using Sisu or if you're not using Sisu, reach out to us. We've got our number on our website. It's sisu.co. Reach out to us via chat box. We'd love to help you set up integrations, set up your forms, whatever you need help with, so that going forward, you have a much better process to managing all the data that runs your business. So we look forward to hearing from you, and thanks for watching.